everybody, welcome to my online singing studio. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about vocal health. I'm going to give you 5 things that you need to consider and honor in order to take care of your voice. I'm going to give you some things to avoid. I'm going to give you some warning signs to watch out for, and then I'm going to give you a few tips to summarize how to continue to take care of your voice. So first of all, I want you to think about how long you are singing. If you are someone who is singing for hours and hours on end, or you take your practice times in big chunks, like 2 or 3 hours at a time, you might want to rethink that. Because the number one cause of vocal damage is overuse. So if you are singing long periods of time and you're starting to feel fatigue, you're starting to feel hoarseness and hear hoarseness in the voice, that's definitely a problem. So it's better for all of us, no matter what level of singing we are on, whether we're beginners or advanced. It's better for our voices to practice in smaller segments of time. So to spread out our practice throughout the day and throughout the week rather than taking huge chunks of time to practice. So definitely pay attention to how long you're practicing. Maybe for a beginner, no more than 45 minutes at a time, right? Without a break. Now you can practice for several hours a day, as long as you are taking enough time to rest. Okay, so the thing is we don't want to sing without stopping for a significant break, maybe 5 or 10 minutes even. All right, maybe for advanced or intermediate to advanced singers, you don't want to go more than 2 hours at one time without taking a break. Really, that's just too long. So don't sing for too long without at least taking a 5 or 10 minute break, letting everything rest and reset. Okay, so the next thing I want you to think about is the tension in your body. I talk about this a lot. So holding excess tension in the body, whether that's in your shoulders, your face, your jaw, your tongue, all of that is eventually going to build up and go right here into the throat, which is going to make you tired and fatigued faster, contributing to potentially losing your voice, getting hoarse, things like that. And pain, it hurts when we have throat tension. So we want to avoid that tension. So take that time to stretch out those muscles, soften the tissue in the face. The third thing I want you to think about is how loud you are singing. If you are singing a lot of belting songs, a lot of high intensity, loud songs, you want to limit how long you are practicing songs like that. So in your practice time, you might only spend 10 or 15 minutes on a belting song and then give yourself a break. Or you might practice kind of marking that song. Maybe you're having a really heavy singing day, but you really need to go over the song just to have it in your head, just to run through it and solidify some things, maybe for acting or some other aspect of the song. So you might just kind of mark it. So that means maybe sing it in a softer, more gentle approach than you usually do. But you're still spending time with that song, right? So think about how long you are singing in a very loud, intense, heavy way, and make sure you keep that limited and listen to your body when you are doing a lot of songs like that. Fourth, I want you to think about how high you are singing. So it is inherently more taxing on the voice to sing higher pitches than it is to sing lower pitches. And that is because higher pitches, our vocal folds vibrate faster. They come into contact more than when we sing lower pitches. It's a little bit more gentle on those vocal cords, not as much friction involved. And then also the vocal folds when we are singing higher have to stretch. And so there's inherently more tension in the vocal folds when we were singing higher. So paying attention to how long you were staying in that high range and limiting that as well. Even if you are a higher voice type, even if you're singing at the high extremes of your range, you want to keep that in check. And if you are singing a song that is not comfortable for you, that feels out of your range, it is becoming more and more appropriate to change the key. Find a lower key. Find a key that makes your voice stand out and makes your voice shine. You don't have to do it in the original key, especially in the pop musical theater world. It's becoming less important to sing in the original key. And then lastly, the last tip, or the last thing I want you to focus on to keep your voice healthy is your breath efficiency. Are you supporting your voice with your breath, right? Have you learned a good solid breathing technique to keep your voice healthy and strong? All right, so make sure you have so that you can continue to sing in a healthy and efficient way. All right, so you want to avoid the overuse, right? Talked about that. You want to avoid abuse of the voice, right? So screaming, super, super heavy singing, lots of vocal fry, things like that, where you are abusing the voice. Smoking and pollution, anything that's going to irritate the voice, you want to try to stay away from. Try to avoid singing through illness and allergies. The throat is usually already inflamed when we're sick, so that's just going to cause further irritation. Stay hydrated, right? Avoid getting dehydrated. Have that water with you. If you are somebody who has reflux, you want to get that in check. You want to get that in control because it can be very damaging to the tissue in the voice box and in the throat. And then avoid whispering. Whispering is very tense. It is not going to help save your voice. It's going to be more taxing on the voice. So whispering is not a good option for saving your voice. Here's some things to watch out for. Red flags, okay? That means you are potentially setting yourself up for vocal damage or you already have vocal damage, okay? So warning signs are hoarseness or loss of voice. Either of these, you want to go on voice rest immediately for a few days until you start feeling better, until things start to feel normal, and then you can start to talk again and use your voice. But you want to give yourself enough time to recover from hoarseness or loss of voice. Deepening of the voice or realizing you can't hit the notes, the higher notes that you used to be able to hit. That's a warning. That's a red flag that you have already damaged your voice. Okay, so at that point, you probably want to go to a reputable ENT. A raspy sound that you cannot clear. So if you cannot produce a clear tone without grittiness and raspiness coming into the tone, that's another pretty good indication that you probably have nodules. And then a loss of flexibility in the voice is another red flag. So make sure you're watching out for these things. Vocal damage is not super common, so I don't want anybody to worry about it. The voice is very resilient, but we want to set ourselves up for success. We want to set ourselves up for efficient singing so that we don't have to deal with hoarseness or pain or discomfort, right? We don't want to deal with that. We want to have fun singing, and we want to have a good, productive practice and performance life, right? And these things are going to help us to do that. So remember, in conclusion here, remember to always warm up the voice. Do not skip the warm up, even if it's just a minute or two. Gently wake up the voice. Don't go into the heavy lifting up front. Rest, okay? That's as simple as, yes, get enough sleep. If you are sleep deprived, that's going to affect your voice. Get enough sleep, get enough rest in between practice times, right? overuse, #1 reason for vocal damage. Okay, so take enough time to rest your voice. Stay hydrated, keep that throat lubricated, practice good breathing, and relax that excess tension in the body. So these are my tips for optimum vocal health. Okay, pretty common sense stuff, but I hope that you are continuing to consider all of these things and being mindful of how you're treating your voice and how you're treating your body so that you can have a long career or a long run of this hobby. If it's a career, if it's a hobby, something you enjoy, I want you to be singing for years and years and years to come. So thank you so much for checking out my video. If you're looking for a private vocal teacher, I would love to work with you one-on-one on your personal goals and also keeping your voice as healthy as possible. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.